So this is N, the same guy that changed the world from his fucking bedroom. I played a game with a soulless son of a bitch, a bastard, a fatherless, godless piece of garbage, who holds a significant amount of power, power being the ability to contact nearly anybody. We kind of worked together for a few years, and I've received absolutely no benefit from working together. Things that I've wanted to get made have gotten made, from movies to video games, to toys, the BB-8 toy in particular, to new fashion, the Disney dresses as wedding dresses, as somewhat haute couture. And it's been a long time since I've ever been paid anything for anything that I did. And I've done some ridiculously amazing things. I've made multi-billion-dollar companies become even more multi-billion-dollar companies. I've guided Apple a few times. I've guided Google quite a few times. Usually with dreams. With moonshots, that sort of thing. I invented a contact lens. Technically, I originated a contact lens that measures the blood glucose in your eye. And get used to seeing my mouth. I'm going to be talking a lot. And that was the first interaction I had with the soulless bastard. The deal was that in exchange for that idea, I let go of ownership of that idea. He gets me a job at Google. This would be 7-8 years ago. And I Googled my name a few weeks later after I heard about the contact lens in the news. And as it goes, I was listed as an employee of Google. But now I do that, they show a different Mohammed Jafar who lives in India. So, needless to say, he's screwed me over quite a bit. But there's a weird reliance on each other. I need him to get the ideas out. He needs me to come up with new ideas, to come up with new directions, and to contribute in a way that catches on. Like, not to take away from some of the fire from Apple, but their whole ecosystem thing that they're very sold on, that came right out of my mouth. I started to see the product ecosystem, then I started to see more and more and more of what was possible, but that was only with Apple. It's kind of an amazing thing to be able to do that as N. Now, in terms of copyrights for music, what I've done for music, this is why I was filming this one to begin with. What I've done for music, I've convinced Apple to invest in music more deeply, more heavily. Apple Music, my idea. Afterwards you can say, well, anybody could have had that idea, but no. My idea. Having Zayn get hired. Also my idea. Beats One Radio, a radio station that's 24/7. Also my idea. To give out U2 copies of the albums. I'm the guy who actually is the brain behind that one. I wanted to get a picture of the market. I wanted to get a picture of all music, the market for music. Anybody who had a copy is regarded as one vote, one number, one in the count, in the great count of what's the music field. Something like tens or hundreds of millions. It's not quite in the billions yet. Now, other contributions to music include songs that I periodically come up with. I pair it with a singer, I pair it with the band, and then the band usually gets it done. The bastard has connections that go all the way up to the president, and that go all the way down to the weakest celebrities, and that extends to stars. For example, did you know while I was really pissed off, about 1.5 years ago, I came up with the idea for a TV show. I've come up with a few TV show ideas. Some of them you are watching right now. With Netflix, I came up with the Marvel series on there. The Reject Heroes found a way to make it good with Daredevil. Then with Jessica Jones. The other ones I didn't have as much to do with. See, I love music, I love video games, I love people, generally speaking. I'm not a cynic, there's too many of those in the world. In the kingdom of thieves. This song's really connecting. How did I live in the kingdom of thieves? When Aladdin was in charge of the 40-some thieves, they didn't screw him over. Me, on the other hand, these guys have committed crimes that range from fraud, that's saying that my idea is your idea. If you have that on the record anywhere, if that was recorded or in writing anywhere, then I have to only produce one shred of evidence, and you go to jail for fraud. I think that's a 7-year federal penalty. Not to mention theft of services, theft of ideas, theft of original IP. Baby. So the different bands that I've contributed one song to are Lord, Maroon 5, The Weeknd, The Script, possibly 2 or 3 others. I want you for a lifetime. I know everything is gonna be alright, baby. Da-na-na-na-na. Oh. I had a hand in Boruto. And a significant hand in the Marvel Universe becoming such a big thing. See, I had this business plan that they followed. And once again, they offered me nothing. The most similar thing to an offer I've gotten for over 7 years of work was either this one. Either you can get money at Apple. If I go with Apple, then I get paid, apparently. I don't know how the fuck much. But that's as far as the offer went. If I stick with Google, I get shares. So that kind of thing left me divided because I've done work for both of those companies. You heard of Project Fi? That's my idea. You heard of Google Home? Originally my idea. I saw what a speaking computer can do. I even had them build a router. Really beautifully. They did a good job with it. Dove. I named their original product Pixel. With Apple, what have I done? The SE, the Plus lines, the Monster iPad, the Apple Pen, the Apple Watch. That one, I formed that idea about 2 weeks after forming the idea for the vision for 1989. The transition into pop music. For one Taylor Swift. In terms of the government, I pushed for the Taylor Force Act. I know that bastard probably pushed for it because I pushed for it too. And I freed up Cuba. I liberated Cuba, basically. Me, Obama, plus a few other people. We removed sanctions, my idea. Why with sanctions it's a vulnerable nation. It's like having a second computer that has no antivirus or no moat around its defenses. I mean, its main thing. So they bought on with that idea pretty quickly. Removed the sanctions. There's cooperation with businesses. I suggested Airbnb really take up there really early on. The problem with Airbnb, though, is that I haven't gotten paid by them either. Usually there's a fee when somebody gives you a bunch of work. You say, hey, I appreciate what you've done for me. You've brought me wealth. Let me share that wealth with you, instead of the equivalent of throwing a shoe at me, which is no response. That's what many of these cowardly companies have done. That includes Amazon. What have I done for Amazon? The Echo Dot. And I don't know if he took this advice. The bastard may have had a connection to him or not. But I highly recommended that he cancel his phones, basically. The Amazon Fire phones. They were going to be something that bled him dry. But luckily, his pride didn't get in the way. I've advised businesses, too, pretty significantly. As something like a high executive. Did you know that Google is now named Alphabet because of me? Because of me. N. If you forget my name, it's N. The letter after the halfway point in the library. The timeline we're all on. A little bit more than halfway done. And this is my face. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I'm a Christian.